Hello everyone, I'm BigBear. The video you're about to watch are some of my highlighted clips while playing Kambal in Brawl. If you like the content or you're looking for something quicker paced, consider jumping over to the video I released alongside this one, showcasing the deck. If you're staying, hey, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. White Black versus White Black. And what a great card as well. Make food, eat food. He's got the full vampire get up. I am in danger. Going first, these are 3 with no black. Alright, this is a lot better with some token generation. I think this will be good with Commander, with Kambal. This will ensure that he's not going to get destroyed straight away, which should be good. Leave one up. Who knows, maybe I've got a Swords to Plowshare in my hands. Be careful what you play turn 1. I could go Arcane Signet here. I think, though, with his ability to make food tokens and stuff like that, I kind of want to get the tribute out as quickly as possible so it can turn into the rat and start drawing me some more cards. And then I can also sacrifice those rats as well. It's a little bit slower, but black can be quite fast. Although I know I've got Arcane Signet here, it can be used. I can still get Kambal out next turn at least. And these are all super low cost, so Arcane Signet will hopefully be... This is a greedier play, for sure. I like this little more. Orzhov v Orzhov. Let me steal your tokens, dear sir. Of course, why wouldn't you want to play him? He's a very cool card. Attacks, of course, because you've got lifelink. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, you can exile him. Ah yes, there's your Soaring. Soaring? There's your Arcane Signet. And there's your Swords to Plowshare. We've got some tricks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. We would love to make a token as well, thank you very much. We've actually got some tokens for you as well. And that's cool, because he wants to buff all his creatures. Give them all 1/1 at the end of the turn. That does put us on a little bit of a timer, but Shieldred could be good. In about 2 turns we'll get Shieldred. We should have enough mana to at least do the tribute to get some rats going. He's waiting, he's thinking. Perhaps acknowledging what mistake he has done by giving me a knight and a little bit of health. What's he thinking here? Whenever you cast a spell, you may pay white or black. If you do, each opponent loses a life and you gain that much life. Well done, Extort. Life gain food. Yummy. Let's throw down a land. Now we could do this and this. But I don't think we want to go full balls to the wall right now. Let's, before we give him anything else. He could block and get lifelink. That's right. I guess we just keep him up right now. We'll go no attacks. We'll give our opponent our rat. That's what we think. That's what we think of him. Here's a rat. But then, it's not much of an insult because we too want that rat. Create some cool rats, and then we get to take control of all those rats. So if he doesn't attack with any of those rats, we get them. If he buffs those rats, well, we gain control of all the rats. And I do know in this Soar and Life Gain deck, you do want to be bolstering all your creatures with 1/1s because of all the health gain you've got. And then of course we steal those rats, those buffed rats, buff looking rats. Now he could play his Virtue here, which will buff everything, and I'll be on a clock. But it looks like he's looking at my General Enforcer to go, okay, I've got to kill that in order to kill Kambal. And if you can do that, then that's all his resources and he's not playing the Virtue. But if he plays the Virtue, then I'm on a bit of a clock as well. destroys that, leaves Kambal open. Which gives me the idea that Kambal is likely in a pretty bad place right now. If we Shieldred, then each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature, so he would have to do his commander. And then he could do Virtue after that. I love you, Shieldred. Come out here, let's have some fun. Gotta get rid of that guy. I don't actually want to attack because I want to take control of all of his rats, and I don't want him to chump his rats into my rats. He can buff his rats. He can add to his rats. I don't want those rats to die because I want those rats, and I'm going to get them next turn. He can just play his commander next turn, but then again, Virtue, he won't be able to play. I'll take control of the rats, which is 2 less rats than he has to have. And I actually do have 1 mana left, which I didn't even realize. This is a little bit unnecessary because I'm ahead. If I play this, I get to draw cards potentially, but if he's got a board wipe, it also gets rid of Esper. So I have learnt recently that I definitely need to hold back a little bit more when it comes to like filling the board and having all that fun, right? Because then, you know, they wipe it or they get rid of key features and you're like, oh, okay, well, now I need to rebuild and I've got no cards in hand. Esper would have been good to like fill the hands, but I think he's either looking to like replay his commander or yeah, he's looking to Virtue. And the good thing about this is he's going to Virtue, it's going to buff the rats, and then I'm going to gain control of the rats, which I don't know if he's seen. Okay, exile my graveyard. His stuff is all going to get buffed. Boom, boom, boom. Untap. Lovely. My tribute's going to go off. I gain control of those rats. Now that we have that, we could Welcoming Vampire for more card draw, but I think we're in a nice place to just start swinging. Shieldred has Menace. This is a 3/3 in the air. Concede. Thank you for the rats. Thank you for buffing those rats even. Grizzly Bill. This is my arch nemesis. And I already have so many doubts on winning this game, and it's not just because I have 2 mana and a bunch of scaling up cards. I definitely need another perfect hand, except maybe get rid of Virtue or maybe get rid of Baron and have another land, and that would have been nice. Not great. Want another? That's not bad. That's actually not bad. Let's do this. Oh my god, is Grizzly Bill my worst nightmare? I would personally like try keep a hand that has removal, but then like, you know, you got Leyline that comes in and it's insane, and it's like, it's fun to play these because like 2 things are either going to happen when I'm versing a Grizzly Bill. Number 1 is I just lose, like just flat out lose, and it's kind of like cool. Arcane Signet. Let's create. Let's get some life going. You know, it's either kind of like, okay, this is going to double tap for, you know, mana. Grizzly comes out, you know, the land comes down or the trample comes down, and suddenly you're just completely overwhelmed, and like no amount of stuff can I block, or because of the trample and stuff like that. It's like my biggest weakness. We do have Smothering Tide, which I can definitely play next turn, which I think I definitely will. The Skrelf Hive would probably be good, but this will mean I get more mana, and if he does tap, then he might not be able to have so much mana, so I will get there eventually. We've got a Death Touch here as well, but, you know, if you get First Strike or Trample or Double Strike on these big creatures, then it's kind of like GG. Like, we've got the Innkeeper, we're going to gain life, create treasures. I'm going to create a treasure, actually. That's very nice of you. That brings us to 5 mana. I don't mind that, actually. Thank you very much. If I somehow got 2 mana next turn, it'd be very good. Definitely need some removal because Bristly is scary. I plan to draw it. Yeah, for sure. Being able to all those 1/1s. It's all the trample creatures. I suddenly get like super. Oh, there's some removal, and they also get a basic land, so you know they get some cool stuff there as well. So let's have a look here. We can simply go a nice Smothering Tide. He's got 1 mana up, so he could hexproof his stuff. He could definitely hexproof his stuff. I don't think he wants to. Obviously, he doesn't want to block either of these, so he does have 2 mana up. He could buff his stuff. I'm curious to see how this goes because he could block and buff. With, I mean, I just assume there's always something that he could block and buff with. Okay, so he's gonna do that and then buff it as well. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power. Don't control the creature you don't control has trample excess damage. Well, he could do that and then block into it. I could actually path to exile the Prosperous Innkeeper so that she stays alive. I mean, she's gonna help me with all of this other stuff, so it's kind of like maybe I do that. Although the Bristly Bill is kind of the way I want to go. So, I mean, I think I'll be all right. I think I'll be okay here, because then of course they can block into it. I mean, it would be like, I don't know, maybe kind of greedy, but then they will also get a land and that will go into turn. So, sorry, they get a land and that will also buff, like the Brisley. I was curious to see what they had, and I wanted them to use their mana, just so that I could then pass to exile. And we'll autopay. Because they can play it next turn, of course, but they would have to tap for Smothering Tide. Smothering Tide gives me the ability to do like Sanguine and Scroll, so this could be good between these two, although that does completely empty my hand, which is not super optimal. They're eventually going to have a lot more land to be able to just like tap for Smothering Tide. Whenever you tap a creature, yeah, so he could pay 2. Or he's not going to, but he could. He could tap the Druid for 2. I don't have any other removal. And I'm gonna need it because a 6/5 with trample means I'm in immediate trouble. So what can I do here to make my life not a living hell? Well, I could Sanguine Bond, which is gonna be all the mana, which is not really what I want. I can 2 and then 2, or I can 4. This will be good for a nice little blocker. It's not bad. It's not super amazing. Probably better if I 2 and 2. These can't block, which is no good, but that's okay. I mean, actually, the 1,000 Moons was probably better. Now that I think of it, because it would be something that could block. I mean, it is, was it equal to number of artifacts or creatures I control? And I control, of course, 1, 2 artifacts. Oh, wow, I would have created just 1 person. And this is where Brisley Bill is just like, I don't even know what turn it is anymore. It's like, you're done. You're done. If you don't have a removal at this point, you are done. Let's go no blocks. I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of like you're gonskis. You are in trouble. These guys just then go absolutely nuts. And it's like they don't create tokens, which is great. It counters the deck really fine. And like at this point, Sanguine's like irrelevant. 1,000 Moons is probably my only way to get something that's big. Like a 6/6 that's actually going to be able to block. Which is okay. It's like cool. I'm wondering if I was too greedy there, but I feel like even if I wasn't as fast-paced as I tried to be during that game, like, this has got trample, that's got trample. And so it's like, dang, man, these guys are big. I can try to do some cool blocks here, but even if I do, it's not going to really clear the entire board. Don't block, lose. Block, lose the next turn? Unless I magically pull up an incredible card. which I don't have a farewell. I removed a lot of my removal. It's just not fun to play with. It's giving me some extra stuff to boost into a 7/7. I mean, yeah, it's going to get destroyed. Is he going to create me a creature? It's going to gain 3 life. Yeah, that makes sense. Look, that's got trample. Kambal dying isn't going to do anything, but just me, like, I just have to recast it. Vigilance, reach, trample. At least I can, like, reduce some damage. He can buff his creatures, of course. You know, I get rid of a creature, he gets rid of a creature. He does damage to me and he gets more stuff. Bolsters them. Like, at this point, it's like, nah, you just bolster it, man. Everything gets bolstered. And then it's like, it is almost incredible that the Grizzly Bill himself is a 360 commander in terms of, like, weight. I can tap, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sure, I get that. I can play this, which is nice. But at the end of the day, like, it doesn't really matter what I get. Sanguine Bond's not going to save me. He's just going to come in with some big guys. And it's going to be scary. I mean, I don't think there's anything specifically I could draw into here. Like, even if I was to remove one thing, it's not going to be enough to do a lot. So he can just absolutely go nuts on the next turn. Unfortunately, that leads to our concede. Green, mono green, apparently a weighted 360 commander. And maybe it is easier to beat. There are a lot of other decks out there that can beat it. But I just get the feeling that Kambal and Brizzly, they just don't go together, man. Like, mono green in this area of where commanders are, like this sort of, I want to say elo, man, Brizzly just absolutely takes the cake every single time. I think, yeah, that deck just, like, every single time takes it. This area. What are we facing against? Alright, let's have a look at this mono white. Whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control, if you cast it, you may search your library for an aura with a card value less or equal to them. Excuse me, I was reading that, thank you very much. Put that card into the battlefield under this person. So buff this one beautiful fox. That sounded suspicious. Buff this one fox as much as you can. Anguished, Meat Hook, and Black Market. Some amazing land here as well. We could be super greedy and not go for our Surveil land. We could just go for Authority straight up with Polluted Delta or Ganjo. You know how it's pronounced. Opponent's going first anyways. That's going to enter tap, do 1 damage to them. 2 mana, I'm not really doing anything, so Authority of Consoles can just go there anyways. Let's not be too greedy. Get out that tapped land while it's tapped. He does have a fun turn 2 play, so turn 2 you can obviously get his goodies out. Ah, we're gaining protection. I see. No worries. Ooh, a nice little pickpocketer. That's what we might do. We might go white here. We might do Authority of the Consoles. And a nice little Tiny Bones. What do you think? Your cards are white. You know, I've got white cards. I know that those cards are really good. There's some pretty good cards. I just got to say so myself. We could exile that with Anguish. Enters the battlefield, choose a card name. Spells with the chosen mana. Costs 2 more to cast. So he can do my commander? Whenever enchanted player casts a spell with the chosen name, you may sacrifice Curse of Silence. Oh, okay, so it costs 2 more. And she can sacrifice and draw a card. That's incredible. Oh, hello. And that would also be, what, giving her some 1/1s? Oh, just that one. That would be really cool. I was like, hello. Well, what do we want to do then? I think we want to get in there with... Let's go here. Now, obviously can't do Kambal, and Meat Hook would only go for 1, which would take out all the good stuff. So first, if he blocks with that, then this one no longer has protection, which we want. Neither of us have things in our graveyard, so not really good. Let us do some black marketing, I reckon, because with extra treasures, makes Meat Hook Massacre even better. Since we can't do Kambal, and because Kambal is, well, he's debuffed right now. He's feeling a little ill. He's taking a sabbatical. This fox is getting very heavy. First strike lifelink means I'm going to have to do some removal very soon. Otherwise we are in trouble. Voltron, put your goodies on her. First strike lifelink. Come one, come all. Wow. Yeah, that's going to be hard to get rid of. I mean, Anguish will do it. So far doesn't have hexproof, but with the Griever of Runes... Wow. That's insane. A lot of life gain. That's very quick. Maybe I should have taken her out a lot sooner. Does she have trample? No. First strike lifelink. We probably want to... We could work with these two. Let's grab a black, and we could do 1, 2, 3, or at least 2 and get rid of those 2. But if we do 1, 2, then we can't Anguish. If we do that, she can just gain protection. So is there a way around the protection? I need to Meat Hook Massacre those 2. But if I Meat Hook Massacre 2, then I'm left with no mana to Anguish. So it's kind of like... I mean, I could just create more soldiers per se. Like, I could block... She can tap creatures. So maybe I have Bastion to just give me a chance to block. That would be Meat Hook Massacring for 0. I think that's my only way of getting rid of that though. I don't want to do it for 0. No attacks. I don't have anything in my graveyard. It's the saddest Tiny Bones. Saddest Tiny Bones I've ever seen. So as long as she doesn't have trample, I think I'll be okay. Like, she's going to be tough. Lots of goodies on her. Yep. First strike is fine. Yep, that's fine. Okay. Oh, did she get vigilance? First strike, lifelink. Protection. No worries. Yeah, she doesn't have trample, which means she's just going to gain a lot of life, but I'm not going to die here. A lot of life. I mean, a lot of life, right? But doesn't mean I die. I think I want to... Well, I need to keep creating stuff, right? I'm not going to Meat Hook Massacre her. But I do need to... I'm already pretty low. That loses me 3 life, so... I think we'll just do the 1. Get out of planes. She can't give protection, but she's got 1 card in hand. I mean, this is kind of all for nothing, right? All or nothing, all or nothing. Get rid of her. Gets rid of all these auras. enchantments. It's tricky, man. She's got all these cool auras now. I wonder if she can just automatically attach all the auras onto her creature. Aura enters the battlefield. If you cast, you may search a library. I don't think she's got a way of it. I mean, I'm sure she's got a way to like do that, like to actually put those back on. Like all auras, straight to me, please. But until then, I think because it comes in taps, so that's at least another turn that I get to figure out what to do with it. It's a 2/2, so I can meet her and massacre it. I don't think she likes that I exiled it. Well, who would, right? But hey, look what you did to my commander. That's what I'm doing to your commander. Definitely consuming those times out. I don't know if that means concede, if they've just left. Because they're all gone and, you know, these are back in your hands. So I could meet Hook Massacre here for 2. I don't think it's to my benefit, but if she's got a way of buffing these guys, then I'm kind of in the shit. You know, if it's First Strike or Trample. So I think I do have to do that. It's kind of shitty, but I mean, I do have blockers, but the protection is just insane. I gain a little bit of life as well. Did she keep her in? No, did she keep it? Oh, she kept it exiled. Tiny Bones, non-land permanent card. Oh, ironically, I could have casted these non-land permanents onto my Tiny Bones. I didn't even think of that. That would have been such a cool little interaction. Now it's just a matter of, you know, playing Kambal, having Black Market go off and not necessarily lose me all the life in the world, but then between the Bastion and the Meat Hook, could be okay. 59 health, she's still looking pretty healthy. I can generate some tokens with the castle. She just timing everything out because she left it in exile. I'm not too sure what she's expecting. Let's just not go too crazy right now. Yeah, you can draw a card. I get the feeling player, our fluffy unicorn pony may have clearly, right? Where's the unicorn horn? I think our pony may have just left. So it's kind of just like, do I leave? Do you leave? I don't really want to, like, I want to leave, but I don't want to reward your bad behavior. You know, you maximized your commander. You did some cool stuff. You got to 59 health. Maybe a little bit more, right? Did not appreciate me exiling it. One removal card. That's all it took. Mazzy, True Sword Paladin. Whenever enchanted creature attacks one of your opponents, it gets +2/+0 and gains trample to the other turn. Ooh, trample, we don't like that. Whenever an aura you control is put onto your graveyard from the battlefield, exile it. Ooh, okay. So we're playing auras to buff our creatures, get them trample, swing in for big stuff. Alright, no worries. We've got our mana here, we've got our Arcane Signet, we've got our ability to create some guys, we've got our ability to create more guys, and Skyclave will be some removal. I like this hand. Let's see if it does us well. And I like these card backings with the lightning bolt. That's really cool. With a nice howdy and a nice hello, let's get this on the road. Let's start with just a swamp. We're going to want to use our dual land to have 2 white so Skyclave can actually come out. And if we draw some more land, that will be even nicer. I will be a little bit... Ooh. Maybe I do want to be a little bit... I don't want to be too greedy here and just go straight into Jadar. Let's see what he's working with. But let's, for the sake of things, at least bring out one white. Because next turn we can even Smothering Tide to just get some more card draw. And we can get Jadar out as well. Or not card draw, sorry. Treasure token. Okay. Very nice. Smothering Tide. Let's get some treasures. This is our version of ramp. We're versing green, and we want that ramp. You're not going to pay 2, you silly little goose. I'll take that. We might get an aura, no? Ooh, whenever you cast an aura. Ah, yes, ram. Ah, yes, let's draw. SRAM will be good to exile for certain. We've got plenty of mana to do just that. So we've got 6 mana right now. So the good thing about that is, let's go 6 mana. Yeah, let's go Kambal, of course. And let's go Skyclave, Autopay. It's one thing to have Trample, but it's another thing to draw cards. Let's exile. Smothering Tide, create some treasures. Kambal says, thank you for those treasures. Or he's not going to be really creating any tokens, I don't think. Unless he's got for Myriad, then for Myriad cards will be good because that will create something for us as well. Ah, yes. We do not want the trample. Yeah, no blocks. I'm okay with that. You've got 1 red which could bolster your score, or your core. Yeah, thought so. A flashy out to do a little bit more damage, that's fine. Kambal would not appreciate that. I mean, a 6/6 I don't really appreciate nevertheless. That's okay. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So we can do a few things here. That's a sorcery, so we do need to do that at sorcery speed. That's 2, and that's going to sacrifice 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 mana that we're left with. So let's get Anointed Procession out because we want to make a whole lot more stuff. And let's also go... I mean, she's big and she's going to get a whole lot more. So let's go right here. Doesn't have hexproof yet. Yep. Let's autopay. Of course, Arcane Signet, and we will get rid of a treasure token because we're creating a lot of those anyways. Gets rid of her, gets rid of the auras. Vigilance Trample Lifelink. He doesn't have anything, so let's just go in for some sneaky damage. He's not going to trade in, and if he does, it's dead, right? I'm not really going to be blocking with Kambal because he's either going to die or, you know, he's going to buff it and just knock it out with Trample and Lifelink. That would be really cool. I'll get some life back from these treasures, which is really awesome. He's got these in his graveyard. First strike. Vigilance. We have become an elk. But that is okay. We will be the best elk that there ever was. Yeah, he can flash in these two, right? He can flash in 1 and give it first strike, which is I'm okay with that. I think I want... We're not in danger zone yet. We're definitely coming close to it. I can Rite of Oblivion my own, this one itself. I can also just Rite of Oblivion again his stuff. But that's tricky. It's better for exile to 1 type non-land. Controller creates a token of that copy. That's the thing. Like, if I did this, he would create a token and he could just put it back, which is kind of null void. He just throw it back on me. I can do 4 Let's see here. This is a little bit tricky, but also kind of fun. What if I did something like Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink? It's not too bad. What if I did something like the Right Oblivion on this? Sacrifice one of the treasures. Then we can... Yeah, let's dedicate a doll maker. Auto pay. Lovely. She comes in. He can have his thing, but it's gonna die, and so with the aura on it, it will come back, but the aura will go. We get these two, and I don't really want to full send it with Jadar, but we would get more stuff as well. But we also want to leave 2 up to make sure that our guys have some protection. In case he board wipes, we'll be able to give our things indestructible, but we can only do it once. And we've got 2 of these guys now. We've got 2 Vigilance Trample Lifelinkers. Thank you very much, dear sir. Your card is very nice. Smothering Tide doing its work and bringing in those treasures, making sure we've got enough mana, because we haven't actually been drawing a ton of mana, so that's really been helping us. And of course, Kambal has been triggering off them as well. And whatever he creates, we're going to create double as well. He's got the ability to give First Strike, he's got the ability to do the First Strike and the Vigilance. So those are in his... Yeah. Exile target creature and all other creatures control goes with the same name as that creature. Wow. That's exile, so indestructible is not going to do it. That's actually pretty good for a token deck, for sure. He doesn't seem to have anything else, though. I mean, he can attack, and then he can flash in those things and buff them. It's going to give him lifelink. Skyclave would give him a token back, but I would create a token as well, which could be good. Although 2, 3, 4 damage isn't the end of the world. But then they die and they come back. I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay for that right now. He can bolster it, sure. He can just gain 2 life as well. I mean, he's got Vigilance. So he doesn't have to bolster it, but if I did block with something, instead of them just trading, he could clearly bolster it with at least one flash. Okay. Puts that there. No sweat. Turn. This is fantastic. The Mirkwood Bats is exactly what we want. So let's Mirkwood. And let's, whenever you create a token, but we're not necessarily going to be creating tokens right now. Well, actually, the treasure tokens should count as well. So we need to do that, or we can do Jadar. So I think the ability to have some lifelink is actually going to be beneficial for us, for certain. And we're also sacrificing things, so we've got Mirkwood triggers as well, which is why the Mirkwood is such a great card. It's a little bit of damage here, and we still got enough to make sure our tokens have indestructible. Let's hit next. Of course, if we need to draw, we can. Go to attackers. I don't think we have any attackers here. We want to just drain you. That's fine. Let's end our turn. Whenever you draw, unless you kill Kambal. But the Mirkwood Bats is probably, yeah, probably the way you want to go here. Destroy target creature or planeswalker controller investigates. I can sacrifice another creature or artifact to draw a card, which is probably going to be better here. That's pay 2. Lovely. Let's sacrifice Mirkwood Bats. That's going to trigger. Da-da-da-da. Ooh. Tessa. Double triggers and Vigilance and lifelink for everything, which is great. Smothering Tide doesn't pay. Get some lifelinky boys, which are going to be great for blocking as well for this guy. He does have trample, but I can just throw them all on top of him. I don't really mind throwing them. You know, and with anointed procession, I'm going to be getting double. So that's totally fine. Just toss them all in front. I mean, you can buff it to all hell. The green edge, of course. That's scary. He's now pulling. He's not pulling his shots anymore. He's definitely going full on. Let's pass the block. I could give these indestructible. Is it necessary? Is it unnecessary? I mean, I think when I have bigger stuff, I want to give them indestructible. Right now, it's okay. Double blocking here. He's got 2 mana to buff it again. He's definitely going to get some life, but maybe he avoids dying here. I'm not entirely sure. That's fine if he does. If he somehow finds a way to keep it alive after being blocked by 2. Yeah, no worries. Ah, first strike. Okay, no worries. So he'll take out the first one, and the second one won't do any damage to him. Do a little extra damage to me. Get some lifelink. No worries. My turn. Wow, this is a game changer. So let's just do it. Sanguine Bond. Throw that out. Easy stuff. This would be great with, of course, Jadar, or with the Karlov girl here. Throw this down. We don't want to do anything here. No attacks. We want to keep up some blocks just in case. Double. Baron's going to say, I want some of that action. Kambal's going to say, I want some of that action as well. And then Sanguine Blood's going to say, hey, I want some of that action. And Kambal's going to say, hey, I want some of that action as well. You know, you have some stuff, I want some stuff. Treasures come in, Kambal triggers, he says, hey, I want some of those goodies. Sanguine Blood says, hey, I want some of that too. And then it just goes in a bit of rotation going, hey, you got something, I want something, you got something, I want something. And it keeps going into a nice little circle. So he can gain 2 life here. Of course we'll pass the blockers. He obviously has first strike again, but I'm happy to just send in all the blockers here. He can buff it up more, I'm sure he can. But for now, I think we'll just, we'll send 4. Send 4 boys. He's going to gain some life. He's going to gain hexproof. That's okay. No worries. I could have given all my guys indestructible as well, which is fine, but there's a lot of Sanguine Blood triggers here. 4 dead, you know, 4 life from Sanguine Blood. Protection from demons, protection from dragons. Ah, an angel. I don't have any flying on me, that's the only problem. But hopefully I can get some nice life gain. Gain life, you lose life. My turn. What do I have? Well, I've got a castle. Now I can do 2 things. If a creature dying causes a triggered ability of opponent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. My tokens have vigilance and lifelink. So, what does that mean? Well, it means that I can put her out. I can go to attacks and I can swing with both my lovely decayed boys. You might be thinking, well, what's the point in swinging them? He can just block them. Yes, he can. But that's a lot of life that I'm going to be getting. That's 4 life. So 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. He's down to 5 already. So let's, you know, he's either going to take the damage or he's going to say, no, I don't want to take the damage, you silly goose. We could give him indestructible, but they're going to die anyways. So what's the point there? We could sacrifice him to draw a card anyhow, but I think we want to gain the life, right? Of course he's going to gain life because he's got... Wait a minute. First strike flying lifelink. Oh my goodness, Stephen. Can't believe I didn't see that going on. That was rude of me. Unbelievable. Let's have a little draw for the giggles. I forget that 6/6 had lifelink, which is horrible. We're just 1 off. of doing veto as well. Well, if we lose the match, we at least know that it was entirely our fault. So he's going to be able to gain a lot of life on the Bane Slayer, which is okay. He's going to want to get as much life as possible. If I get vetoed down, it's probably going to be very hard for him to do that. Okay. So he's probably going to get rid of Sanguine Blood, because that's doing a lot of damage to him. Or he's... Oh, you don't control into enchantment. You control these. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Exile target creature or enchantment you don't control until target enchantment you control leaves the battlefield. I probably would have done Sanguine Blood, but I'm not you. And you seem smarter than me, maybe. Fine. It's drawn. I get some more guys. That triggers, that triggers, that triggers. Hopefully he doesn't kill himself. I've got enough to give my guys indestructible, but I don't really want to give them indestructible, do I? Let's have a look here. 5. It dies. Yeah, okay. Well, I think the only thing we have left to do is we can throw that down. Let's draw some cards just for curiosity. And let's put him down here. Now I can still give my stuff a bunch of goodies. And I think if I attack here, do I win? If I attack, then I gain life, he loses life, but he also gains life. So I kind of want to have life being given to me by the triggers. Otherwise, he's just going to keep gaining and losing, gaining and losing, gaining and losing. But he's going to lose double from Veto and from Sanguine Bond. So I feel like there's a lot of math going on here. Because if I attack, he blocks. This has lifelink. This doesn't have lifelink. He can block 2. He gets 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then, you know, do I even gain that much back? Is it worth not doing that? I think I gain a bunch of guys anyway from creating treasure tokens, right? And I can give my stuff indestructible, I guess, so that they don't die. I mean, they got vigilance, right? Vigilance and lifelink. So why don't I attack with everything, right? I feel like I'm going crazy here. Because I got vigilance and lifelink. And I want to also attack with my Skyclave. Then, once I've declared 7 attackers, and these guys have decayed, I'll activate my ability to give everything indestructible. Or at least all my tokens indestructible. Because they'll have vigilance as well. So they don't die, they're still going to be up for some blockings. I don't know if I did the math wrong, but I think by attacking here, he will gain some life, but I get the feeling he's going to lose just as much from the stuff dying. The Anointed Procession doubles the triggers. Sanguine Bond and Veto are both going to do damage to him once he loses. I mean, that's GG. The math sometimes is hard for me. Specifically, I look at the board and I think, well, you know, you've got the damage going in with the lifelink, and the lifelink then hits Sanguine Bond and blah, 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 blah. You know, he's going to gain some life of 10, but, you know, is it enough? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, but double trigger. I'm like, you should have enough confidence to swing with everything, but sometimes you hit this position, at least I hit the position, I think like, oh my goodness, I got all these creatures and I got all these triggers, and the Baron creates the things, and then Karlov is creating, you know, double triggers, and then, you know, when they die anyway, Jadar's going to come in anyway, he's going to gain life, he's going to lose life, so I should definitely have a lot more confidence when my board state looks like this, but sometimes I'm a little over precautious. I don't think that's entirely a bad thing.